What's up, stars? It's your girl Ivy Star coming to you with this edition of what? Ratchet Astrology. Yes. It's a full moon in Sagittarius, so you see me rocking my orange shirt, and we're gonna go ahead and light a candle and put it on back here. As you can see, I have moved all the plants that are over here in the corner. We have planted them outside. Those were food plants, but we still got our money tree in here, and we still got Miss Roberta over there in the corner hanging out with us in the plant corner. So how y'all doing? Y'all doing good? I'm doing good. It's a little chaotic. So, but I'm not gonna complain. I can still see things working together just the way that they're working. So I'm not gonna complain about it. But I hope you guys are staying safe out here, that you're staying aware, and that you are, just staying in tune. So let's get right into it. So what we talking about? We're definitely talking about full moon in Sagittarius. It is a really strong energy, and that's kind of where we're at with our moon cycles. We're going full moon, new moon, and then you guys can take the time to kind of work things out in between of what you're supposed to be doing. After the new moon, we get to work. Full moon, we get our harvest, then we reflect and rest after that. And it goes on and on and on and on. So we are at the full moon in Sagittarius, so it is also a super moon. And by the Farmer's Almanac, they also call it a strawberry full moon, okay? Because this is around the time where they start really harvesting strawberries and doing things involved with rituals involved with strawberry festivals, and a lot of different strawberry desserts and stuff are available around this time, and just really paying homage to the strawberry, okay? But we're not talking about strawberries. We're not talking about strawberries today. We are going to talk about using that Sagittarius energy to get to where we're going, to really focus on the journey. We're going to talk about Saturn Retrograde a little bit because it's happening all summer. It started, I think, June 2nd. Go look it up. If I ain't got it right in front of me, go look it up. But I do know it is October 23rd, so that's how long you have to kind of use that energy to reconstruct. We're going to talk about some of our personal planets. Mars, Venus, and Mercury have all returned to their home signs. So we're going to get into that. So first, let's get into these notes that I have about full moon in Sagittarius, and it's really preparing you for a journey. I don't know if you got a chance to look at the moon last night while it was full, while it was fresh and full, while I still had that strawberry looking color, and things like that before it got real high in the sky. But it's preparing us for a journey. Not always physical travel. See, the journey is not always, maybe it's time for me to move or something like that. Sometimes it's a mental journey. There's a path that you have to take, like, for example, like unlocking memories. I've been on this path of trying to unlock memories from, parts of my teen years that I had kind of blocked out because of trauma. So I've been on this path to try this journey to try to reconstruct, some of the memories that I have, because I kept all my good memories, of being with my friends and being in band and things like that. But there were also different other things that happened that I'm having flashes of. And then I believe a lot of it was because it happened around the time of 9/11. So, home life was kind of chaotic. The world was changing at that time. So, being 35, I've been through a lot of different changes, and there are some things that I pushed out, but it is something that I'm trying to connect to, that I have to go down this spiritual, this mental journey. So it's not always physical travel, but underneath this full moon, I'm just grateful for being here. We always want to express gratitude underneath the full moon, and do not feel ashamed, because if it was not for the moon, we wouldn't have any, aquatic life. The moon controls the water, the aquatic life, the tide. You know, don't be ashamed to be grateful for the sun. You know what I'm saying? Without the sun, we wouldn't have any life at all. Not even human life, plant life, animal life, nothing. These are all things that was created in nature, that we don't have to be dependent on so many man-made things. We can still be grateful for the things that are out in nature. And underneath this full moon in Sagittarius, we just want to focus on the journey. We're focusing on the journey. So it might be travel through research. You know, maybe it's time for you to go down a educational path, because Sagittarius, Jupiter, they're also the rulers over those type of things of philosophy, education. You know, institutions of higher learning have to do with the Sagittarian sign. Okay, so maybe it's a path of research. Maybe it's time for you to pick up a new study. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more when we get to Mercury and Gemini, but possibly you are ready to explore. Maybe it is time for you to travel now. Maybe it's time for you to go ahead and explore a different place, and you know, something that is more in tune with what your purpose is. See, you know, it's easy to be, because like I live in a small town, and it really should just be family oriented, focused on education, focused on building a career, and just focused on building a family. Those are the things that you should focus on when you're living in a small town. But maybe you're being called to live in a bigger place with more people, with a different type of people that you don't have access to right now. So those are all the things that begin to open up and give us that high emotion feeling that comes with the full moon. When we think about the full moon in Sagittarius, are we ready to travel? Are we ready to move on? Are we ready to go on this journey? Okay. So Mercury being at home in Gemini. So if you're feeling a little chatty, feeling a little networky, it's okay. And if you're losing things and you're feeling a little chaotic and scatterbrained as well, Mercury has returned to Gemini. It's home in Gemini. So we can also use that curious Gemini energy. Gemini's got all the questions. They always thinking, they always talking out loud, they always planning, strategizing, and looking at things from different perspectives all at the same time, all in the one same mind. You can take that same curiosity and use this energy of this full moon in Sagittarius to ask the right questions to get you started on your journey. If you don't know what journey you're supposed to be on, if you have gotten stuck in your path and your purpose, use the energy that is coming from Mercury right now, being in Gemini, to ask the right questions on what direction that we need to be going. Gemini and Sagittarius are sister signs, so they both have that get up and go. You know what I'm saying? Go towards the goal energy. And these energies bring out the best of what life has to offer. So, you know, sometimes Gemini and Sagittarius, they are villains in a lot of other signs' stories, because it looks like recklessness sometimes. It looks like a lack of stability sometimes. But really, once they figured out that what they're doing, or the group that they're a part of, or the person that they're talking to is not in line with what focus they have at this time, because you know they have different focuses from here to there to here to there. They're constantly changing creatures. Once they realize whatever they're partaking in is not, you know, conducive to what they're trying to do, then they've been known to ghost or let things go or not let people down so easy. You know what I'm saying? So there are a lot of villains in other people's story, but we can draw positively off of that energy if we look at some of the things that we have going on in our life and look at it like, is it really serving any purpose? Because under the full moon energy, those are things that you're supposed to do well. You're supposed to be looking at what is not serving me anymore and what can I release under this full moon. So once the moon begins to change cycle and I begin to rest and reflect on what I have just learned about myself, what I have just learned about someone else, what I have learned about what I want to do, what I have learned about what somebody else is doing and how it's affecting me. Once I've taken that information and drawn what I wanted to draw from it and released what I have needed to release, then I can do the work. So So the full moon is connecting with Saturn, and Saturn is the great teacher planet. You learn all your lessons through your Saturn sign. Wherever Saturn is, that is where you learn your lessons through. That's the best way that you learn. That's how you find your learning style. But Saturn is currently in retrograde, so it's karmic. So all the things that so it's a couple of different things going on. So the main thing is karmic. Now with karma, I have been stressing to you that karma can be defeated. Okay, you pay off your karmic debts, one, or live in a reality where you don't feel bound to a destiny. That's how, and you got to be careful with that, because that's really mostly how most villains live. They don't live bound to karma. They don't. The villains, the bad guy, you know what I'm saying? They don't really live in a place where, oh, if I do this is going to happen to me. They don't care. They don't care. So that's the other way to defeat karma, is just to stop caring about consequences and see what happens from there. Because that doesn't mean that they're not going to come, but maybe they won't if you don't acknowledge that they're there. That's how most narcissists live, right? Without lack of accountability, not thinking that they'll reap what they sow for what they do to other people and things like that. And sometimes they don't. You be looking like, how are you still alive? All the stuff that you did to people, all the stuff that you got going on, how is it possible that you're still here? But they're still in fighting that internal battle. But, they just have broken karma by not caring about consequences. But a better way is just to go ahead and pay your karmic debts. If you owe somebody an apology, apologize. If there was something that you were supposed to do and you didn't do it and now it has affected other people, go ahead and fix it, make it right. Own up to it, own up to your accountability. That's the way that we break karmic debt. But, so this full moon is connecting with Saturn, the great teacher, who is in retrograde. We ask ourselves, what brings us life? Okay, what brings you life? So with Saturn, the great teacher, in retrograde, helping us unlearn. That's one thing that's going on. Saturn is helping us unlearn, to relearn, and it's also showing us some places that may have went wrong. So remember, Saturn is kind of a generational planet. It's a large planet. It moves a little bit slower, so it affects more people. Okay, it affects more people at one time. So there are plenty of people under the same Saturn sign at this time that may be being affected in different ways. But the main thing is unlearning to relearn. And that is one way that we break karmic cycles, because you never learned how to break it, so you keep doing it. It's also been given to us in the definition of insanity. Keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. That's how we get caught in these karmic cycles as well. We're doing the same thing. We're just doing what we're taught. We're doing what we think works and not trying anything else, or not trying any other type of teaching, or not trying any other type of method, or not trying any type of other routine or ritual or prayer or a spell. I don't care. What you want to do is break the cycle. So you're going to have to try something else. And I feel like as you get to a point in your adulthood where you know that you know that what you're doing is not working, but it's become a comfort to you. So you keep doing it anyway, because you know exactly what to expect. And even whether it's good or bad, some people are just happy with knowing exactly what's going to happen more than they are with knowing that, hey, if I change courses, this could actually work out. And I don't know the unknown, so I don't want to do that. I want to do what makes me comfortable, even though I know that the results could be detrimental to me, or it could be affecting the people around me. This is what I know. This is what I'm comfortable with, and this is what I'm going to stay with because it's safe to me. You feel me? Habits that need to be broken. So Saturn, the great teacher, is coming to teach you that you can break this, or it's going to break you. And don't play around all summer, because the retrograde for Saturn is going to be in the summer, and it ends on October 23rd. Don't play around, because once it goes direct, once Saturn goes direct on the 23rd of October, if you have not did what you need, if you have not learned what you needed to learn, and you have not made the changes, I'm not You might not be able to reconstruct your whole life from June to October. Nobody is expecting that, because some of the things that we have learned have really been deeply and foundationally embedded in us, especially as people of color. The root goes deeper than what we may be able to change, but you can make some significant ones in that time. What is it? June, July, August, September, October. You can make some significant changes. You can really change your whole life in 90 days. Your ancestors have had to do it. They live on farms with these big old families, and then all of a sudden slavers who believe in slavery tell them that they have to leave the South or be slaves again, and they had 60 to 90 days. These plans and these workout plans and stuff like that, they always are guaranteeing that they can help you change your life in 90 days. And really, that's all it takes to break a habit. You know what I'm saying? So you can change your life in 90 days. You can change something significant about it, at least. I'm not saying you're going to be a whole new person and everything that you want is going to happen in 90 days. But you can make some very significant changes to your life in 90 days. So I'm just telling you that you use the energy of Saturn to learn. Use it to learn so you can reconstruct, and when it goes back direct, you don't have to continue to be stuck in a karmic cycle. Okay, you don't want to get stuck back in that same cycle again where you didn't learn anything. So you got till October 23rd to reconstruct, reshape, realign, you know, with all the things that you learned. Just keep learning. Use this time to really just take in energy. Take in the energy. So, Sagittarius goes wherever they want to go, wherever the wind takes them, just like an archer in their bow. That's their thing. They are the centaur with the archer. You know what I'm saying? Half horse, half man. That's where that work ethic come from. Sky is the limit when a Sag is on purpose. When a Sagittarius has gotten something in their mind, has gotten something in their sight, their focus that they want to do, they are up early, taking care of what they need to take care of. They meeting up with whoever they need to meet up with. They asking for help. They asking for support wherever they need it from to get what they want to get done. But when they are on a path, but it has no clear definition, it can become very toxic. So learn from that. Learn from that. When a Sagittarius is on, because they're always on path, they're always moving forward, but when they're not moving forward in any clear direction, it can become very toxic for them, and it can even get dark, because Sagittarius see the entire world. It's not a whole lot of things that are out in the world that scares them. They might be scary of something happening to them, because you know they love life, but they're not really scared of what's out there. You know, no idea is too far-fetched for them to try to wrap their mind around and research. You know what I'm saying? But if they're on the wrong path, then it can be very toxic. So what I'm saying is, use that freedom of that Sagittarius energy to let it carry you wherever it's going to carry you. But pace yourself. Pace yourself. Pace yourself, okay? Be around people who are just as interested in the process as the end result. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the process with Sagittarius. They love the process. They love the actual hustle of what it is that they're trying to do. They love the work of what it is that they're trying to attain, just as much as they love the gains from it. Just as much as they love the clout, the fame, the money, whatever it is that they have to gain for whatever there is that they're doing, the clientele, whatever it is, because they understand that there's something that they want is going to come with all of those things. So they enjoy the process just as much as they enjoy the end result of what it is that they do. So you have to find people underneath this full moon. I really just want you to kind of think about, you know, harvesting a people who are just as interested in going through the process with you as much as they are as being the end result. You gotta watch out for them people who can't wait. They always can't wait. Oh, I can't wait to see what you gonna do next. Well, you know, you can call me on the phone, you can FaceTime me, you can ask me what I'm doing, you can get involved, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I can't wait to see, I can't wait. Let me know when you're done with that. Let me know when you're done with that. Just look for it. Just look for it, because right now I have to be with people who are just as focused on the process. I'm not saying that they have to come along and give me their money. I would love that type of support. I love monetary support because, you know, I have a family and stuff to raise as well. And, you know, I work from home and things like that. So pretty much on one end, my life is pretty regular. But when I'm trying to do things like take risks and be an entrepreneur, yes, I enjoy monetary support. But I'm not just talking about that part. I'm talking about coming to the events. I'm talking about coming to the pop-ups to support your family members and friends who are trying to be vendors and entrepreneurs. I'm talking about being a part of the process when you see something that you think that I might need, that you send me a simple picture of it. Stuff like that warms my heart. When people like see like food trucks for cheap or something like that, they send it to me. I ain't got the money for it right now, but I am so glad that you thought of me when you seen a food truck, because that means that you believe that I can do that. I can do that. When people send me pictures of like discount art supplies for me to do paint parties or stuff where I can find different smells and stuff like that for my soaps and my oils and my candles and recipes. When y'all do things like that, even when y'all send me astrologer information, I am not here to compete. Okay, I just want to make that clear and put that out into the universe, because our consciousness has busted open, and I don't like people who get on people for picking up information. That is the sickest thing to me, because you feel like that you have had this information and you have stood on a soapbox for all these years and tried to get the information, and because one internet influencer came along and made it a little bit clearer, and now someone else wants to pick on the information, you got an attitude. I don't care how you got it. I don't care how you got it. I don't care if you started meditation because a gumball in a gumball machine told you so. I don't care if you decided to align your chakras because a fortune cookie out of a Chinese restaurant told you that's what you needed to do. I don't care how you came to the knowledge. I'm just glad you're here, okay? So even when people send me astrology stuff and tag me in astrology stuff, I still be excited because I am still learning myself. I am not in any of this to compete. Any of this to compete with any of you all. I am competing against poverty. I am competing against my own traumas. I am competing a bit against generational curses and things like that. I have children to raise. So we're going to be around people who are just as interested in the process as the end result. And remember, the full moon is about gratitude, being grateful for what has already happened, being grateful for where you already are, being grateful that, you know, even because, you know, sometimes we say that we are in a better place than we were last year, but sometimes we're not in a better place than we were last year, were we? Financially, mentally, spiritually, something could have happened between now and last year. Oh, I'm not at the place I used to be. Some people might be in a worse place. Let's deal with the reality of the things that's going on in humandom right now. I don't even know what to call it. Human race, humankind, whatever, mankind, whatever. You know, whatever you want to call it. The things that are going on, some people are in a worse place, okay? Mentally, spiritually, even physically, you know, than they were before. So when you consider that, it's just about being grateful for where you are now. Being grateful for where you are now. Try not to think about it too much. Just be grateful so you can continue to move forward, because gratitude helps you release a lot of unnecessary baggage, because we have complaints, but it's really about things that we can't change. You know what I'm saying? Things that are going to require a certain amount of inertia in order to change, not just from us, but from other people. A lot of things that I have complaints about are only going to be changed through a collective. They're only going to be changed through a collective. So until the collective is ready to get together and do collective stuff, then, you know, I'm just going to keep my complaints to myself and try to live the best life that I can in the time that I'm in right here. It's also about exposure. You know, the full moon comes to expose. That's why when people start acting crazy, people will be out, it must be a full moon tonight, because people be showing their whole ass, don't they? It got to be a full moon. People showing up. That's because it exposes a lot of high energy and a lot of high emotion and a lot of hidden agendas. So it'd be some fallout, some fights, and people acting crazy, and people who were covering up maybe some anger issues and stuff like that. They be getting a flare up then. It's really hard to hide from that moon energy. You can't. Did you see it last night? Woo! You can't run away from that. That's real. And that's why I get into astrology, because you need to know that, first of all, astrology is over 2,000 years old. It is just as old as Christianity, okay? And you need to know that a lot of these people who are running the world, they are using these moon cycles. They are using the sun. They are using the placement of the stars to make a lot of decisions, okay? That's why they're always up there and they're always wondering. So I want to know what you're looking at too. I don't just do the astrology part. I look into astrology as well. The placements of things that's getting closer, holes and stuff that's opening up, things that are flying around in our orbit. I pay attention, because forget what they can control. You don't need to pay attention to what they control, like gas prices and food inflation. You know, they're doing that to you on purpose. They force us to in a recession on purpose. And I don't know if you ever heard it said, but it's honestly true that most millionaires are made out of recession, because they just they create this crazy supply and demand, and they know that we're going to pay, because we have to pay to live every day. It's like Sims in a game. Like, you know, ain't no way around it. You got to get up, you got to work, you got to put gas in your car, they got to go here. It's so many other things that you have to do to make sure that your mental health stays intact and that you don't raise little psychos. You know what I'm saying? All this money that you have to spend, they know that, and this is what the recession creates. But you can be one of the millionaires that come out of the recession. It's possible. Stay on track. Make a plan. Try some things out. Take some risks, okay? But the full moon is about exposing, about revelation, revealing things to you. Ideas should start coming. Other things may start coming. You know, be alert. Keep your head on a swivel. You know what I'm saying? Spirituality is really not for the weak, okay? So if you decide that you want to just be spiritual and be spiritually free, and you want to break away from your religion because you just want to go out in nature with your rocks and meditate and stuff like that, you are going to get attacked. I've been attacked this morning, and it may sound weird, but I feel like it was definitely a spiritual attack, because I was supposed to, and I won't say that it was an attack. Maybe I just wasn't supposed to go nowhere. You know, we can't look at everything through negative eyes either. Like, maybe I just wasn't supposed to go nowhere. Maybe it wasn't meant for me to be up and out at that time, because one, I promised y'all that I would do this video this morning. So maybe it wasn't meant for me to be out right before it was time for me to come back home and clock in, right? Because I'm supposed to be doing this. But my keys are currently lost right now. That's what made me sit down, like, you know what? I'm just going to sit down and go ahead and do the video. I'm not looking for them no more. I know what I did. I know what I did, and they'll turn up. Okay? That's just what it is. The full moon is also about revelation, you know, revealing things that were there that we might have thought weren't there anymore, feelings that we thought we had let go of. People may come around that we thought that we had let go of, you know, for us to get closure and do what we need to do so we can release. It's expose, reveal, release, okay? Expose, show you what the problem is, reveal what the root of the issue is and what you need to do, and release. Okay, so we're not holding on to things that are keeping us held back in order to reap a harvest, because that's what else we do underneath the full moon. We reap our harvest. We celebrate in gratitude all the great things that have came to us in this time, whatever time frame you're working from. You know, sometimes when with smaller manifestations, you go new moon to full moon. Maybe you go moon cycle to full moon cycle, for one full moon to the next, 1 month, 3 month, one period to the next, whatever. However you are journaling and keeping up with the full moon and the moon and its cycles, you know, just know that the full moon is where we celebrate, we have gratitude. But at first, expose, reveal, release. And so let's talk about these personal planets. So while we're talking about, you know, revealing and releasing, let's talk about these personal planets. Now, they're called personal planets. They move a little bit faster through the signs. So, you know, they're ever changing through people. Like 3 people sitting together may not have the same, you know, ascendant. 3 people sitting together may not have the same Mars. 3 people sitting together around the same age might not have the same Venus or Mercury. But there's a possibility that 3 people sitting around the same age will have the same, you know, Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn, because those are our generational planets. They move a little bit slower through our charts. So, the signs tend to be collective on the generational side, but on the personal side, that's exactly what it is. It's personal to you. So let me tell y'all something. My personal signs. I am so we're going to talk about Mercury. I am a Mercury in Pisces. We are going to talk about Mars, which is now in Aries, and I am a Mars in Aries. And then Venus has moved on to Taurus, which Venus controls Taurus and Libra, but it's chilling in Taurus right now, which I believe your Uranus retrograde is happening in Taurus right now. So it's a whole lot of changes going on when it comes to finances, money, career. Some things are being reconstructed. There are some unexpected changes because, Uranus is the planet of unpredictability, okay? The rebel planet, you don't know where it's going to turn. You don't know what it's going to do. So right now, while it's in retrograde, we are just taking a look at getting a hold to this financial situation and things going on and unexpected changes. Let's talk about unexpected changes in finances of, inflation, okay? Gas prices, food shortages. This is all got a lot to do with Uranus and Taurus and that retrograde that's going on. Things are being reconstructed and things are happening unexpectedly. But my Venus is in Capricorn. I got that big sugar mama energy. So anyway, let's talk about where they are in their home signs and how that's going to affect us. So let's talk about Mercury first, because it is the planet of communication, feeling a little chitty-chatty, little networky, want to get out, want to socialize, okay? Fresh out of retrograde, Mercury fresh out of retrograde. How did y'all do? How did y'all do in y'all chapter test? These little quizzes is getting a little bit easier. I'm doing a little bit more studying through this Saturn retrograde, but the Mercury chapter reviews is getting a little bit easier, okay? So I'm fresh out of retrograde. We fresh out of retrograde, ready to network. We get boost of mental elevation. It's just like, you get a little extra sprinkle of intelligence when Mercury is in Gemini. The mind connects to things faster. The mind is working a little faster. The mind is like craving knowledge and want to play little brain games and stuff like that. Keep yourself sharp. Start wanting to, do more things like that. We get plenty boost of mental elevation, and it's a great time to finish paperwork. So anything that you have not finished, like I've been sending off these visiting forms to go see my brother for weeks, and I was finally able to, I don't know, maybe it's because I haven't sent snail mail in my adult life very much. I done sent off packages like when I started the soaps. That was fun, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just not a person who's really sent off a lot of snail mail when it bought stamps and envelopes and all that stuff. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a millennial, but I was around for the first part of, snail mail before we had phones and email and everything was digitized. But this is a great time to finish paperwork, do some creative writing, not just, journaling, but more along if you got a script you want to write, if you got a podcast you're working on, you got some content you want to put out, this is the time to write it. If you have a business plan or a proposal that you've been trying to work on and get together, this is the time to write it, okay? And that anything that's going to require brain power at this time, now is the time to tap into that chaotic Gemini brain energy, okay? It ain't that they are a little chaotic. I ain't gonna say that, but just most people can't keep up with the Gemini brain, okay? So use some of that brain power from Mercury being in Gemini for the short time that is there to go ahead, hurry up over these next couple weeks. Get that script wrote, get that podcast wrote, get that content wrote. Come on. Creative writing, get that storyline. Maybe you want to write books, maybe you want to write children's books, maybe you want to draw. Anything that involves creative writing, now is the time to do it. Next, we have Mars, the warrior planet. Yeah, that's where all your is at. Mars is in Aries, and that is the planet of your sex drive. Now, let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex and the planets just really quickly. So Mars is the planet of your sex drive. Venus is kind of the planet of your sexy, and then Pluto is the planet of your kink. Okay, y'all got it? So Mars, that's your sex drive, that's your libido, that's how bad do you want it, how bad you want it. Venus is where you find your sexy. How do you get sexy? How do you show your sensuality? How do you show off your sexy? Okay, what makes you feel sexy? Okay, that's what Venus is. And Pluto, that's your kink, that's your deep inner fantasies, and how you approach how you approach it. Okay, how do you choose your sexual partners, what makes you turn on, and things like that. But Mars is in Aries, and that's your sex drive. So if you've been feeling a little horny lately, if you've been feeling like you can go at any time, Mars is in Aries, so it gets really strong around that. It's also the planet of passion, your motivation, you know what I'm saying? You may be feeling a little spontaneous, with Mars and Aries. You're real focused on the win, okay? You get real focused on the win. Like, you know what? I've been sitting around too long. What can I do to get this win? What can I do to get from point A to point B? Not Aquarius. Aries does not really worry about what's in between. How am I get from here to here in the quickest time, with the least amount of human interaction and having to do things. Now, they love to collab. Now, don't get me wrong. Aries love to collab. They're leaders, so it's not always easy to find people to collaborate with them, because that's just the attitude of leaders. It's not just Aries. It's not just other signs that they may be associated with strong personalities or loner attitudes. It's just leadership, period. Whatever sign you are, there's going to always be a little bit more when it comes to team building for you. But Aries love allies. They love people to come along to help and support. They're true leaders at heart. So you may be feeling a little bit more competitive, but that's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? That's not always a bad thing. Your temper may be a little bit shorter. Now, that can cause some problems. So if you've been having some issues with flare-ups and your temper, just take the time to breathe. We really don't take advantage of breathing like we should. Just take advantage of what you have at your disposal, and breathing is one of the tools that you have at your disposal that you do not have to pay for, okay? That you can use to really ground yourself, that you can use to calm yourself, that you can use to focus, that you can use to meditate. There's nothing that you cannot use breathing for. There's no practice, exercise, ritual, anything that's not going to require you to breathe through it, okay? So take advantage. And, watch your temper. Watch your temper. Not too much, though. Not too fucking much. But anyway, so Mars and Aries, looking for the quickest route between point A and B. There's also going to be this link between Aries and Chiron. There's going to be a conjunction between this Mars and Aries and Chiron, and it's going to be in Aries, and it's actually happening today, the 15th. Okay, we're moving on into solstice. I didn't really make any notes, so you guys can go ahead and look up some stuff about summer solstice if you like. I didn't really make too many notes on that. I do have a video somewhere about what it is in general, but if you want to look up your horoscope or look up anything that might be affecting you that has to do with summer solstice, then go right ahead. But Chiron and Mars, and Mars are going to link today, and it's going to bring healing, especially to the masculine collective and any masculine energies that you may have in yourself as a, biological woman. I know we live in an age where we have to, try not to offend people with pronouns and things like that, but I kind of just get down to the basic biology and things like that. I'm being based on that. So whatever you choose to identify with, whatever I say, let it resonate with that part of you. If it does not, then don't take it to heart that I'm trying to offend. But, that's just how that's how I look at things. But the masculine collective, so just make sure that you're encouraging healing in the lives of the men around you, okay? Not beating it into them, because nobody wants that. But, you know, just encouraging healing. The masculine collective is going through a healing process. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Okay, that's always a good thing. There's always a good thing when there is a collective call to healing, because that means that change is coming. Okay, not when it's just one person. Like, we've all been called to change, and we all are called to healing at one point. But when we're called as a collective, oh my goodness, that means that there are just so many different changes coming, especially when people start making decisions out of a healed place, because that's the problem all along, right? Decisions are not being made out of a healed place that's going to help people. The decisions have been made over our lives from a very selfish place of people who don't look at us like nothing but a number, okay? So there has to be some healing. There has to be some healing amongst the people. The people, not the powers that be. The people, the powers that be know exactly what they want, and they know exactly what they need to do to get there. But have the people came together and decided what they're going to do to stop it, because it's going to be to our detriment, okay? So there is a link between Mars and Chiron, and the masculine collective is getting its healing, okay? That's a good thing. So let's talk about Venus. Miss Venus. Venus, Miss Venus, Venus, Miss Venus. So Venus is now at home in Taurus. So baby, the taste and the pleasure principle kind of turns up. We're embracing our sensuality, getting sexy. We already got Mars making us horny. Now Venus got us feeling all sexy. So, you know, it's always when the masculine and the feminine go home and they, you know, get to work on themselves and do what they need to do, when they come back together, it just be like, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about when you're in a real relationship and not in a codependent relationship, where you guys are able to take time away from each other to do stuff that y'all like to do, that made y'all individuals, that made y'all like each other in the first place. And then when y'all do link back up, it just be like, bam. And you can have that type of relationship even when y'all living together. It's okay. Leave the house. Leave the house. Go do something that you like to do, or leave the house so they can be at home doing something that they like to do. It's okay to give each other your space. So Mars is currently in Aries at home, and Venus is at home in Taurus, and they doing their thing. And then, you know, it's opening up the path, honestly, for you to cultivate a healthy relationship if that's something that you're looking for right now. Nothing wrong with looking for a healthy relationship right now with a counterpart, you know, with your equal, with your human, with your person, with your twin flame or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you're looking for right now, this is the energy to look for it in. Even if you're looking just for solitude and being single, these placements right where they're at is enough for you to really take a look at your personal. So just go look and see where your Mars is, okay? Go look and see where your Venus is. And now that they are home in their signs, what is that going to do for you? Okay, check into it. So Venus is at home in Taurus. So like I said, we're turning up the taste and the pleasure principle, and we're embracing our sensuality. We tend to get a little bit obsessed with security and being practical during this time as well. We really start buckling down on, do we really need all these lights on? You know what I'm saying? We get into that, you know, do I really like the way that couch look? I think I'm ready for the couch. This is messing up my feng shui. You know, a lot of that going on. We become really obsessed with security, saving, making sure that, you know, really just buckling down on our purchases, which is not a bad thing, because like I said, Uranus is also in retrograde in Taurus. So we're already undergoing some unexpected changes. So, you know, taking a look at how secure you are in your finances ain't such a bad thing. So Venus is doing the right thing there, because you can't do nothing about whatever changes and things that we are going through. They're unexpected, but it's helping you get prepared, okay? Get prepared. So when Uranus does go back direct and move on out of Taurus and out of our finances and out of our way, you'll be ready for the next round. Because it don't stop. Something else is going to come around and shake you up. But it's always, you know, making sure that we are at a place where we are preparing ourselves for whatever comes next. And when Venus is in Taurus, we really start obsessing about being prepared about whatever comes next. We gain an appreciation for luxury, practical luxury though. Tauruses love to find luxury items on a dime, okay? So don't get it twisted. Yes, they love luxury and they will spend their money on things that they really want, but they love a deal. They love to find luxury for a deal. So, you know, we start appreciating luxury. We want to start making the things around us feel more plush and luxurious and at home with this sign, because this is just about home and self-care and love. Possessiveness, and just like how I was talking about, anger can be a little bit strong and tempers can flare with that Mars in Aries, with the Venus in Taurus. The possessiveness can get a little strong here, you know, really holding on to people and things, you know. Taurus is a stubborn sign. It's fixed, so it's stubborn by nature, and they can be known to hold on to things longer than they need to, okay? Very possessive, especially if it's something that they spent their money on. Especially if it's something that they spent their time on. Resources are key to Tauruses, and time and money is something that you do not want to play with, or they food. That's true. They try to say it's a stereotype, but y'all know Tauruses don't play about their food. But anyway, possessiveness can be a little strong here. The clingy, spoiled girlfriend vibe, okay? So just kind of, you know, make sure that we are not attaching ourselves too tight to anything while we're making these changes to our security, that we're not becoming too possessive over our things, because you still want to live a life without attachment, because that can slow you down sometimes when you become too attached, or so attached to one idea or one thing or one person that you don't see the big picture anymore, okay? So we take time to look and really see nature. Like last night, looking at the moon, just quietly looking at the beauty of the moon. You can see like the craters and all the other stuff in them. You know what I'm saying? Just really taking time to really enjoy nature. It's hot today. I don't even think the sun is out, but it's still kind of hot. But still taking the time to enjoy the fact that the birds is enjoying it, I guess, you know what I'm saying? The plants and the wildlife, they needed it, right? You know, I'm not I'm not nature girl, okay? I'm just saying. Take time to appreciate the natural things. And that's where we find ourselves with Venus and Taurus as well. Just really appreciating the natural things, and even want to do better. Like you find yourself wanting to find natural and better ways to do things, like, you know, starting compost piles or something, maybe switching to more chemical free products. You know, you find yourself doing those things under the Venus and Taurus placement as well. And we crave physical touch and romance a lot more. Okay, so how perfect is that, you know, the sign of the feminine, the divine feminine, is craving physical touch and romance, and the sign of the male masculine energy or whatnot is going through a healing process. So it's just going to create a lot of love relationships I see just emerging out of this summertime period, and I'm excited. I'm here for it. So these placements are definitely well placed for romance, and I already talked to you about, so, you know, when you are preparing yourself for a relationship, because it really is a preparation process, because you need to work on yourself first. You need to work on yourself first. So take into the considerations that what I told you about the planets that have to do with your sex and your sex drive and your sensuality. Take into consideration what your personal planets are, and things that you may make a list of things that might rub you the wrong way, that you can't handle, like your pet peeves and things that rub you and bother you, things that you're really craving at this time. You have to begin to write and really take a personal inventory before you attract the person that you really want. That really wants you the same. Okay, that's key. It's not always about just what you really want, but do they want you the same? Do they want you the same? Are they craving you the same? Are they laying up craving after you and thinking about you and writing about you and writing your name on their notebook like they in grade school about you, ready to write you love letters? Even though we got phones, they can text you. They want to write you a letter. Do they want you the same? But you gotta want you first, and you gotta want you most, okay? You gotta want you first, and you got to want you the most, and you have to be okay with it, because then you're going to attract a partner who's okay with it. If you're not okay with yourself, you're going to attract a bunch of people who are going to continuously fault find and flaw find in you. because you sit up and do it to yourself all the time. You are waiting on other people to come along and give you the validation that you have to give yourself first. You got to validate yourself first. You cannot keep waiting on people to come along and validate you because you so special and you so talented, and somewhere deep down on the inside you know it, but you just don't know how to say it to yourself because you've never been taught. We're unlearning to relearn. Talk to yourself nice. And then I could tell somebody else, talk to me nice. Because I talk to myself nice, okay? None of that foo-foo stuff. It's okay to check yourself, but not too fucking much, okay? Not too fucking much. That TikTok sound is just living so rent-free in my head. But anyway, that concludes our video for Ratchet Astrology. Ain't y'all geeks? There's so much good stuff going on. It's so much crazy shit going on as well. I didn't do too much doom and gloom news. There's enough of that in the world. And you know, one thing I'm explaining to my children, that y'all just have easier access to it, but the world was crazy. Go look up an old newspaper article. America ain't never been right, y'all. The world ain't never been right. You ain't even gotta pick up no old newspaper article. Pick up the Bible. Hell, the world ain't never been right. So we just gotta learn to live our best life throughout whatever's going on. And if you are not attached to this idea of being afraid of death, then you'll be fine. But as long as you're afraid to die, you're not gonna be fine. You're not gonna be okay if you don't let go of the fear of dying. Nobody wants to die just before they've completed everything that they have set out to do. Nobody wants that. None of us. But we just continue to do what it is that we have set out to do. And when it's your time, it's your time. And when you can come to peace with that, you just live a much better life. And all of this crazy stuff going on in the world, it won't affect your mental health as much, because that's what I'm concerned. And I'm just concerned about the mental health of people, because that's what we're watching. We're watching people's mental health break, okay? We are watching the break of mental health, the break of systems and societies. We are watching it all just crumble down. And it can be really heavy. And it can be really scary. Especially when they make movies about it. You sit up and you watch movies of people who ran out of food and they running all over the place. They running from zombies. They running from other human beings trying to hunt them down and eat them and kill them and steal their houses and steal their supplies and resources. That's what we going back to. I think the fuck not. I ain't. Anyway, just keep praying. So, I want to say thank you for tuning in to this edition of Ratchet Astrology. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to this video so you can get a ding. How come you not famous yet? How come you don't share my shit? But I love y'all. Stars, stars, stars all over the world. And new moon. So the retrograde, we're going to follow all the way through the end, because we're going to talk about some things that we have unlearned as well as relearned, because I want to start sharing some things with y'all about my learning journey as well, because I don't know everything. I hardly know anything. I don't have it all together, you know what I'm saying? I consider myself to be a humanly intelligent girl, but baby, it's other stuff in the world that you know nothing about, that is way before you, that don't have nothing to do with my human intelligence, my big brain, or how many books I can write in and fill up, and how many big words I can say or not say, because I choose not to say them all the time. But we're going to go through this together. So we're going to keep going through this Saturn retrograde together. Obviously, the next video is going to be at new moon. I didn't check and see what sign that was going to be in either. I'm getting pretty good at guessing. I'm getting pretty good at knowing these moon cycles without having to look at my calendar or look at any of my books, because I'm still a book person too as well. I don't want to lose touch of that and just depend solely on technology for my information as well as for my research or my studying. But you know, I'm getting to the point where I'm being able to call it. But anyway, so new moon is going to be our next video. We're going to keep talking about these retrogrades and transits of these planets and how we just changing for the better for our transformation, and you know, just keeping up with each other, holding each other accountable, praying for one another, and staying safe. I love y'all. I love y'all. See you on the next video. Peace.